Hey guys, today we are going to be reviewing your Mod 2, and with the review of Mod 2, we're going to be taking the test after this. So please make sure that you have a calculator. If you need to grab a calculator, go ahead and open it up. Remember, it's easiest if you grab the MCA graphing calculator and then go ahead and open that up. And if you can, do the dual screen so that you guys have dual screens opened and you can look at your test and use the graphing calculator also at the same time. All right, so make sure you have that graphing calculator. Do your best to stop the video, do these two problems, and then start the video back up for an explanation. So we're going to just be reviewing, and then after this, you're going to be taking your Mod 2 test. All right, so to put this in scientific notation, I like to do the first thing of go put my decimal where it needs to be. So if we have 2.3, that number is bigger than 1 and less than 10. And then we're going to be times 10. Now, what power am I going to have up here? So we can go over here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And because this is a very big number, it's going to be a positive 7 exponent. All right, in number 2, again, I do the same thing. I'm going to go put my decimal where it needs to be so that this number is bigger than 1 and less than 10. Second step of the process is going to be write times 10. And now, how many places did we move this decimal? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that exponent is a 4. But it is a negative, very, very small number. And we went to the left. So I have to make sure that I have a negative 4 there as my exponent. All right, these are in scientific notation, and now we want to write these in standard form. So this exponent right here says move the decimal left 4 places. So our decimal's right here. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, I have to fill in these spots with zeros. So my answer, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 zeros, and then 4, 7, 9. So that is now standard form. Number 4, that exponent is a 7 and it's positive, so that means I'm going to move to the right. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I fill in the rest of those with zeros. So I'm going to need 6 zeros. All right, so there's your 2 answers in standard form. All right, pick the smaller number. Let's see, number 6, a little bit easier. I'm just comparing my exponents here. And 2 is less than 5, so this is going to be the smaller number of the 2. All right, on the top, I'm going to make myself a number line just to make sure that I get this right. So I have -1, -2, -6 would be here. And remember, the further left you go, the further left, the smaller the number. So -6 is smaller than this -2. So -6 is smaller. It's further to the left on the number line. All right, we also did things with these exponents here, and there are 4 different rules. So remember, if we have a negative exponent, we're going to write something as 1 over, and then anything to the 0 power is 1. So remember, we like to put in the exponent, 6 to the first power, 5 to the first power. Remember, this 0 was only going to the x. So this is 6 times 1 plus, and this is 5 times 1. So it looks like we're going to have 11 for our final answer here. All right, number 8, we are doing kind of a new concept here, and we haven't covered any of these, and we're not going to quite have it this harder on the test. But these numbers are all being multiplied, so we're going to take 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 3 is 30. Okay, now what do? We have an x to the third, an x, and an x to the fourth. So we keep the base, and what are we going to do with these exponents? We're going to add them. So 4 plus 3 is 7, plus, remember what's above there is a 1, so this exponent is going to be an 8. All right, number 9, the big thing is we've got a power to a power, and I have to bring that 2 into the 4, so it's 4 squared, and I have to bring this 2 into the x. So what do I do with these 2 numbers? So keep the base, And then those two numbers, 3 and 2, I'm going to multiply together to get 6. Now, 4 squared is 16, so this is going to be 16x to the 6th. All right, number 10, we have to make sure we're dealing with like bases here. So these are both w's. And where am I going to have more w's? Well, 5 minus 4 is 1, and that w goes on top. Some people put the exponent of 1 up there. That is totally fine. All right, here we've got x's. So there's a couple ways we can do this. One way is, remember, we're subtracting exponents. So it's going to be minus 3 minus 1, and we still have y to the negative 8th. Well, negative 3 minus 1 is going to be x to the negative 4th, and we still have y to the negative 8th. Now, I know some of you are like, wait, we can't have negative exponents. You are correct. So when I write this final answer here, so the final answer here, here's my fraction, the w stays on top because that has an exponent of a positive 1. The x to the 4th needs to go in the denominator, and the y to the 8th needs to go in the denominator. So we keep the w on top, and we have x to the 4th on the bottom and y to the 8th on the bottom. All right, here we go. We are adding to scientific notation problems. So we are adding. So most of you should probably just be grabbing your graphing calculator right now and doing these problems on the graphing calculator. So we've got 6.7 times 10 to the 4th plus 2.8 times 10 to the 3rd. Remember, one way is we can make this number get bigger so that we have like exponents, and if that gets bigger, this gets smaller, so it becomes 0.28. And now we're going to add 6.7 and 0.28, so that this is going to be 6.98, and then we're going to keep the base and power, so it's times 10 and keep the 4. Okay, or you guys could be just going over to your graphing calculator, which I have it right here, and then you guys can just do your 6.7 second to the EE to the 4th, and we're going to add to that 2.8 second EE. I think that power was a 2, and we get 6.78 times 10 to the 4th. Remember that E means times 10 to the 4th. Okay? All right, so let's go on to the next problem here. And I'm just going to go right to my calculator here. Remember, we could make this times 10 to the 7th. So this gets bigger, this gets smaller. So I have 0.36. So now we're going to take 9.8 and subtract 0.36. And we get 9.44, and then keep your base and power, and that is to the 10th power. So that's one way of doing it, but I know that most of you are going to just go ahead and grab your calculator and do this right on the calculator and then just get to your answer. So that's fine. Let me just go ahead and show you really quick. So 9.8 second EE, that exponent was a 7, and make sure we're hitting subtract here. 3.6 second EE, that is to the 6th power, and 9.44 times 10 to the 7th. All right, here is a multiplication one. So I think I'm just going to jump right to my calculator here and have you guys do this. So go ahead and use your calculator. 7.1 second EE, and then let's see, that's the 5th power, times 5.4 second EE, that stands for our times 10, that's to the 7th power, and it looks like we're going to get a 3.8624. All right, so let's write this, 3.8624. Remember that E stands for times 10, and the power is to the 13. All right, I think I have one more here, and oh, I didn't. This last one is be the same. Oh, here it is. It's the division. So if we're going to divide here, one way we could do it is just take 9.3 and divide by 3.1. 9.3 and divide by 3.1. And when we do that, we get 3 times 10. Now, what did we find out that we do with exponents when it's division? When you have the same base, we subtract the exponent. So we're going to do 15 minus 10 is 5. So this is going to be 3 times 10 to the 5th power. Okay, and again, you can just do that right on your calculator, which way is easiest for you. All right, that should be a quick review of Module 2 for you. So go ahead and good luck on your test.